Hi, I'm Realtor Bert Taddei. This is the video educational series called Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Taddei. This is an educational video series about the real estate industry, and we try to sift through the hype, the hoopla, and yes, even media negativity surrounding our industry. So today's topic is a really good one. We're talking right now about analyzing real estate market trends. And today is going to be video number 2, which is analyzing market data. This is going to be a very important episode simply because we're going to be talking about the local numbers to San Antonio, right? San Antonio specific. That's my market. And the first video in the series was current market conditions and trends. The second video is this one, which is analyzing market data. The third video that we'll be going over is going to be forecasting future market trends. And then the fourth one is the impact of economic factors. So this is video number 2, analyzing local market data. Now we're going to find out some really interesting things about the San Antonio market. And the very first thing I want to talk about is the definition of a buyer's market and a seller's market. The right down the middle and one that favors neither the buyer nor seller is a balanced market and is said to be 6 months of inventory. Okay, it favors neither the seller nor the buyer, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, right? So a buyer's market is anything over 6 months of inventory or 180 days. Anything fewer than 6 months is considered to be a seller's market. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the trends in median home prices. Now in San Antonio, that's $314,000 for median home price. I like to focus personally on the average sales price. Median, by the way, is going to be right smack dab in the middle, right, of everything that's sold, right in the middle. I like average sales price. I just think that that's a really clean way of looking at what is truly sold, and both on the high end and the low end. And that number is $371,202 in San Antonio. And that is actually a little bit of a decline, but only 2%. So for those of you that are waiting for the market to crash and whatever, that kind of thing, we're going to be talking about the days on market and such in just a minute. But you're going to be waiting a long time for that to happen because I don't see a crash. Is there a correction in the San Antonio real estate market? Absolutely. And it's of course a byproduct of this really interesting interest rate environment in which we find ourselves, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So you're going to want to track the median price, home sale prices in our area to understand pricing trends and market health. And we're going to compare the current prices to historical data to identify, growth patterns. And again, it's not growing; it's instead declining, but only ever so slightly in terms of the average sales price. Down 2%. The median at 314 is 0% change compared to May of 2023. That's the data that we're currently looking at for the last full month of data that we have, May 2024. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but the second thing we're going to be looking at are of course the days on market. It's going to be very telling, right? And we're going to analyze how long homes are staying on the market before being sold. So the shorter the days on market is typically going to indicate that there's a lot more demand, right? So it's a true seller's market. And the longer that the homes are on the market indicates that it favors the buyer. Now, where are we in San Antonio? Well, I can tell you right now, the average days on market in San Antonio is 69 days on market. And that's actually up 6% compared to May of last year. So that's going up in terms of days on market. And the other thing I want to mention are of course, the inventory levels, which is number 3 on our list. You want to assess the number of homes available for sale. Low inventory often leads to higher sales prices and competitive bidding. However, higher inventory, which is what we're going to talk about right now, often leads to lower sales prices or the ability certainly to negotiate better purchase prices. And that's what we specialize in, right? This is not a sales pitch or anything, but we're doing very well for our clients right now in terms of negotiations for repairs, items, contributions to closing costs, and so forth. And why is that? Well, simply put, it's because of the inventory, right, that we're looking at, right? This is currently, again, 69 days on market, which is up to 6%. The third thing we're going to be looking at are the available homes for sale, right, and the inventory levels. And it's very important to see that we talked about what a balanced market is. Well, this is 4.9 months, which is technically under 6%, 6 months of inventory. However, it doesn't feel like a seller's market. And here's why. Because right now, currently, we have 5,541 new listings, which is up 20%. You say, well, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that more people say, they're raising their hands and say, yeah, I need to sell, or I want to sell, whatever that is. And so they're seeing 5,500 new listings. It's actually up from last year. More people are saying this. So gone are the days of, well, I'm just going to sit here right now because I'm scared of the pandemic and I don't want to leave the house. And so the inventory was a lot tighter. Well, now there's a plethora of inventory. Why? Because the active listings, 13,768. Yikes. Okay, that's up 39%. The active listings. Okay. In a minute, we're going to talk about sales volume, which is going to be conversely or compared to how many are available. But 13,768 is a very high number. And it's up almost 40% from May of last year. So the sales volume, let's go ahead and talk about that, is number 4 on the list. So we're going to want to monitor the number of homes that are being sold within a specific period. And an increase in sales volume can indicate a strong market, while a decrease may suggest a slowdown. And it's the latter. It's what we're talking about here, right? There's definitely a slowdown. In fact, we're looking at the pending listings. So the ones that are under contract, they've gone through due diligence or an option period, right? They've already inspected the home. Now it moves to pending. Okay, now more times than not, it's gonna close, right? And those pending listings, well, guess what? They're only 2,848, and that's down 10%. Okay, so fewer homes are selling. In fact, in May of this year, it's down 3% at 3,472. Okay, so fewer homes are selling. Okay, fewer homes are selling, and more homes are coming to market, right? So we got this going on, right? Fewer homes are selling, more homes are coming to market. So we have this is, of course, the inventory, right? It's trending in the wrong direction, right? But this is important for us to talk about in terms of trends. And the reason why we're even talking about real estate trends is for you to make an educated decision as to whether or not it's time for you to jump into the real estate market, right? To decide, well, you know what? It's actually favorable for me right now. Interest rate environment is not favorable. Maybe the rates come down, and at that point we can look to refinance. Maybe. I've talked about date the rate and marry the house. It's become a very unpopular sentiment, by the way. However, it is possible. At least you know that you can score a better deal on a house right now because of the aforementioned market trends, right? So maybe this is going to be helpful for you to make a decision as to whether or not you want to jump in. Now, the fifth thing we're gonna look at is a price per square foot. We evaluate the average price per square foot to compare value across different homes and neighborhoods. Now, when analyzing a home, I believe that price per square foot is not everything. There are a lot of other factors that are going to drive that sales price. It is not only the home itself, right? The land and improvements, right? What is built on the land. Why is that? Because maybe there's a swimming pool, maybe there's a deck, maybe there's a pergola, maybe there's all kinds of improvements that could have been made, but it still goes to the sales price of the home divided by the number of square feet. That price per square foot is going to become a little bit more elevated, right? Especially if it's on more land, things of that nature. And we don't extract for that in price per square foot. In fact, a if you talk to appraisers, they're going to tell you that the contributory value for square footage is actually equal to 1/3. So buyers believe they feel that buyers believe that they're willing to pay up to 1/3 of this of the value of a property, based on what the square footage is of the home, and that one is $178 a foot. Okay, but that one, I told you I was going to talk to you a little bit about values. So again, if you're waiting for a crash, there's a market correction definitely, which is all the signs pointing to this being a really good time actually to buy, based on what I'm talking about here. However, you're looking for a crash, in terms of values, I don't think we're there yet. It's only down 1%. $178 a foot is only down 1%, and again, the average price of a sales price of a house, 371 202, is only down 2%, and the median price, again, 314, is 0% change. So it doesn't indicate that the prices are necessarily going down. So that is something to think about as well. And the sixth and final thing we want to talk about are local economic indicators. Now we're going to get very granular in this one. Real quick, I want to talk to you about San Antonio and Texas market numbers, right? So we look at the local employment rates. We look at wage growth, population trends to gauge economic health and its impact on real estate. So what do we have? Well, let's talk about that for a second. First of all, our unemployment rate in April of 2024 was only 3.20%. That means that 96.8% of people were employed in Bexar County. That's a pretty good number. Very good number, only 3.2% unemployment. And the other thing I want to talk to you about that are that the wages, because we talk about wage growth, those are the employment rates. Now the wage growth has risen 4.1%. Okay, and that's as of last year in 2023. Now it's a little bit slower in San Antonio than it is in other parts of the country. For example, Texas wage growth is 5%, 5.0, and the U.S. as a whole is 4.3%. So 4.1% lags a little bit behind in terms of wage growth here in San Antonio. However, there is a little bit of an increase, right? Now, how does that compare versus the rate of inflation? That's a whole other video. That's another discussion altogether, right? So if your wages are increasing 4.1%, but inflation is rising, 6, 7, 8, 9%, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not an economist. I'm a licensed real estate broker. Then that's probably not a good thing. But again, I'm not going to go too much into that. Let me just say that we're doing a little bit better in terms of the wages in San Antonio. Now the population trend, obviously San Antonio is one of the 10 largest cities in America, and of those 10 largest cities in America, we're seeing that we're one of only 3 cities, only 30% that has grown. So only 30% of the cities on that top 10 list and the largest cities in America saw growth in terms of population. So other ones that it's either they're stagnant or they're losing people. And of the 254 Texas counties here at the local level for our state, more than half of them have grown, right? So since 2020 anyway, right? That's when the data that I was able to find, and I wanted to talk about in today's video. So San Antonio is still growing. As you can see, that wages are growing a little bit as well, and the job market is very strong. And there's people moving in. However, the home prices are not declining. However, the days on market and the inventory levels are elevating. So what does that tell you? It means, again, I think it's a good time to buy a house based on these indicators, right? Because those of you that are on the sidelines and waiting for the interest rates to come down, that's fine. You can do that. However, once you do that, just remember that we talked about that earlier. that typically an accelerated market means that there's going to be lower inventory, and there's certainly going to be multiple offers on those houses because more people are jumping in. Hey, let's jump in. The rates came down. Then we're going to see what we saw, back 2-3 years ago, where everything was selling within 24 or 48 hours, and there were multiple offers and people overbidding for the houses and overpaying 20, 30, even $50,000 for a house, and then bragging to their friends for some reason at cocktail parties about how they overpaid for houses. Don't understand that one. Waiving due diligence or inspection periods, just stupid stuff like that. So hopefully it's been interesting for you, but I believe that by staying informed about market trends and understanding their implications, we can we can help our clients and of course our audience in this case make more informed and strategic decisions about the dynamics of the real estate landscape. So hopefully this has been interesting for you. I want you to leave me a comment below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when a new video comes here to the channel or the platform on which you're watching this video. We want to be informative. We want to be a resource to you. We want to be able to answer any questions. Reach out to me. If you have any questions, even if it's just a text real quick, hey, what about that video you were talking about the other day? Ask me a question. I'm more than happy to answer. My phone is answered between 8 and 8, 6 days a week. My number is 210-376-TALK. San Antonio area code 376-TALK or 8255. That's what it spells. I'm Realtor Bert Taddei. I'm also broker owner of Santino Properties LLC, and this has been another educational video in my series that I like to call Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Taddei. Hopefully this has been interesting for you. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the videos. Talk to you soon.